The Office is probably the most praised comedy of all time, hands down, and I think it deserves every bit of praise that it gets. While it's not my favorite sitcom, I really do love The Office and think it's probably the most rewatchable show out there. There are some problems with some of the episodes in the later seasons, and today I'm going to be telling you my least favorite episode and what I think is the worst episode of The Office. Let's get into it. Guys, real quick, before we get into this, please do help me out by just hitting the subscribe button down below. It's really easy, and you know what? It doesn't take long. It's free. Just do it. It helps my channel grow. Now, I'm going to be talking about The Office, the later seasons, so if you don't want to be spoiled about a show that's pretty old or this certain episode, be warned. I don't even know why I need a spoiler warning for an episode of The Office, but without further ado, let's get into the worst episode. By far, in my opinion, the worst episode of The Office is Customer Loyalty. This is in Season 9, and it's Episode 12. Season 9 is a mixed bag overall. This is by far the worst season in the show. I think what it does is so horrible to all these characters. It makes Andy a horrible guy. It makes, you have Jim and Pam over here struggling, and it's not what The Office was in its prime, and this episode is probably the biggest example of that, in my opinion. So I'll read the quick IMDb synopsis. Now, normally this isn't an episode that people necessarily hate, but it's one that I absolutely despise and do not like rewatching. So Dwight tries to keep Daryl from leaving Dunder Mifflin. So already right there, we have characters that you like moving away from the show, or you have all this drama with characters leaving, and, it's the 12th episode of like a 24 episode season, and already you're acting like it's the final episode. And so then we also have Jim misses his daughter's recital because of an important business meeting. That is by far the worst part of this episode. And Nellie is also worried that Aaron will dump Andy for Pete. I don't care about Nellie. I think she's the worst character on The Office, and Pete is just a boring Jim copy that doesn't work. And again, Andy's just a jerk in this season. But the part I wanted to highlight in this episode that I don't think works at all is Jim missing Cece's recital. I think that this is extremely out of character, and what he does to Pam is not really what the show was. The show never, in the early 7 seasons, would never have done that, and I think what they did really does not work. You have Jim screaming at Pam. I actually, never mind, he's not screaming, but it's just uncomfortable, and it really, in a comedy that has never done this, and for the first couple seasons, the whole thing is Jim trying to get Pam. It just doesn't work. Now, I know what happens in real life, but this is a comedy. You're here to relax. You're here to laugh, and this just doesn't work. Guys, that's why I think Customer Loyalty is by far the worst episode of The Office. It feels so disconnected from the rest of the show that I can't really enjoy it. There you guys have it. There is my thoughts on the worst episode of The Office. Tell me down below, what is your worst episode or your favorite? I definitely have some favorites. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit the subscribe button because it's super easy, and may the force be with you.
Athlete, please.